There's just something about having everything on paper that I find so satisfying and actually helpful with keeping me on task. Hey there, it's Elisa, but of course you can call me Ellie because it goes with the channel name. And I have spent the past 15-ish years using paper planners to keep my life organized. So I want to give you a tour of my current planner so that I can show you how I keep all of this information on paper in one planner. But just between you and me, I might cheat a little bit, but we'll get into that later. We are about to see in real time what humidity does to my hair. This is my planner. Everything in my life is referenced somehow to some capacity in this planner. I use it for planning and scheduling, for tracking tasks and habits, and for some light journaling and memory keeping. At its core, this is a classic size dashboard happy planner. I've just made a few adjustments so that it can better fit my needs. At the front of the planner is the year overview. I like to use these pages to get a good visual of where I'm going to have to spend the most effort throughout the year. So things that I'm going to have to spend a lot of time planning for, budgeting for, taking time off of work for. I use sticky notes to mark the month that something is scheduled, and if it's something I haven't committed to or don't have a date for yet, I'll leave it in the sidebar for now. Next, we have the month overview pages, which I use to keep track of important dates which carry over from year to year. Mainly national holidays, religious holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, and a few fun, wacky holidays as well. This planner has a pretty standard setup where there's a separate tabbed section for each month. The beginning of each month section has a 2-page calendar spread. I also copy down those special dates from earlier in the planner, like birthdays, anniversaries, and any holidays which aren't already printed in the planner. I'll also add things like events, appointments, social plans and gatherings, etc. I don't worry about adding times or anything on these pages, mostly just reminders if I've got something going on that day. These month calendars are where I want to reference if someone asks, "Hey Lisa, are you busy this day?" I don't know, let me check my calendar. There is a sidebar, which sometimes I'll use, sometimes I won't. If I do use that sidebar, I break it up by week and list any larger tasks or projects that I want to get done for that week. So for example, every month I do kind of like a monthly planner reset where I'll tie up any loose ends from the previous month and make sure that my planner is prepped for anything that I need for the next month. So I'll add that to my sidebar here. So when I look at my calendar, I remember I'm probably going to spend a couple of evenings working just on my planner. That also means I'll probably want to make sure that I have all of the supplies that I need for prepping my planner. The weekly breakdown is where I spend a majority of time looking in my planner. Since this is a dashboard planner, I have a dashboard on the left, and then on the right side is where each day is listed. This setup works really well for me because as a single person with no kids who works from home, there aren't too many plans that I need to keep track of each week. Although I do have 2 cats. Right, Minerva? You like my planner? Yeah? As I was trying to say, I don't have too many scheduled plans that I need to keep track of throughout the week. Most of what I need a planner for are like tasks and to-do lists. So I do love having this whole page dedicated to my dashboard for the week. It's just the dashboard that comes with this planner isn't the best fit for what I need on a daily or weekly basis. So I make my own dashboard. I use Canva to design the dashboard. Not sponsored, but like, hey, Canva, I'm open to it. But then I just print it on whatever cheap sticker paper I can get my hands on from Amazon. I usually do this on a monthly basis as part of my monthly planner reset process. At the beginning of the month, I'll reevaluate my dashboard design and make any changes before printing out what I need for each week for that month. I find that doing this on a monthly basis makes sure that my planner has enough flexibility so that my dashboard can meet my needs throughout the year, but it's not so often that it just becomes tedious, you know? So for my current dashboard design, first of all, I've got habit trackers because you know I love those. For marking something in a habit tracker, I'll either put a check mark if I completed that task on that day, or if it's something that I might do multiple times throughout the day, I'll use tally marks to keep track of how often I did that thing on that day. I also have a big table checklist thing of chores that I like to get done on a weekly-ish basis. Instead of using X's or check marks on these kind of lists, I like to use letters to indicate the day of the week that the task was accomplished. Over time, this can help me notice any habits or trends that are developing in my productivity and possibly help me plan for accomplishing tasks more effectively in the future. Running down the side of my dashboard, I have just a standard checklist for basically any other tasks that I want to get done that week. My dashboard also has a small section to indicate any deliveries I received during the week, which usually just ends up being a bunch of Amazon orders. I also have this big section where I can break down those bigger projects I'm focusing on for the week. I'll also add any related notes or checklists that I need to stay organized for those projects. I also have a section just for LA Planet related stuff. The way that I use this section really varies week to week. Sometimes it just kind of depends on the week. For kind of the week date page, this page is for anything that's happening on a specific date. I do copy down the same holidays and birthdays and anniversaries that are also listed on the month overview and the year overview, but I do like seeing that information written down on all of those sections, and there is something kind of satisfying and almost meditative about writing out the same thing over and over again. I use these day sections kind of for like two main purposes: for my planned schedule and for to-dos or tasks that I want to get done on a specific day. Not just sometime throughout the week like I use my dashboard for, but something that I want to make sure that I get done on that day, or at least try to. So I like to split each day down the middle so that I can track my schedule and plans and stuff like that on the left side, and on the right side of that day is where I'll have my checklist for that day. Now, at the back of each monthly section in Happy Planners, there's a monthly overview page for the following month. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that this page drives me nuts, because in my head, anything that comes before the tab of that month is going to be for previous months, not the following month. It just doesn't make sense in my brain. So I transform this page into kind of like a currently page for the month that makes logical sense, and I'll design that currently page in Canva, print it out on sticker paper, and cover up that existing page that I can't stand. This is another page that I evaluate for a possible redesign on a monthly basis. Lately, I've been tracking the media and content that I'm consuming that month, mostly of what I'm watching or listening to. It is really fun to look back on previous months and see, like, what was I consuming in my downtime? Was there a song that I kept having on repeat for a few months? Was there a YouTube channel that I was just discovering and now I watch it all the time? After that little makeshift currently page, I'll also add a few extra pages to the back of each month. For most of this year, I've been adding checklists from a different monthly layout Happy Planner to the back of each month on this planner. I used to design my own checklist pages, but this is a lot easier. These will just be for the tasks that I want to get done at some point during that month. Most of these lists stay pretty consistent, like miscellaneous or one-off to-dos, monthly chores, appointments to schedule, people I want to visit with during that month, things to buy, things to do that are work-related, but not necessarily job tasks, because those are in a separate part of my planner that we'll get to in a bit. Also, digital planning or organization, photo and video organization, which is a big never-ending project, any crafts that I want to get done for that month, anything that I need to mail out, like snail mail, and then monthly reset tasks for last month, this month, and next month, as well as any other miscellaneous planner-related updates. And then each month there's usually at least a few lists that are kind of unique to that month, or not something that I need to do like every month of the year. So like for this month, I have a list for post-moving tasks, like the rest of the unpacking that I've been putting off. I still have a few things to wrap up after my trip to Disney World this summer, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff that I need to get done specifically for the holidays coming up, so I'll add a section for that. After the to-do lists, I'll add a custom page to keep track of my spending, basically just like a cute color-coded check register. I always have the best intentions of keeping this updated on a weekly or even a daily basis, but that usually doesn't end up happening, so usually I'll just get caught up for the month during that kind of monthly planner reset routine that I have. Now we're getting to the very back of my planner. I don't usually visit this part of my planner as often as the weekly pages, but this is information that I want to keep together with the rest of this other stuff. These sections in the back are using like a top tab system, using these plastic dividers that I honestly have had forever, and I have absolutely no idea where they came from. Winifred, hello. I sometimes change these sections for different years depending on what my current needs are, but I always have something extra organized back here. I have this section just called Planner. Right now the only thing here is my color coding key, but I do use other disc-bound planners and notebooks that I'll eventually combine with this planner at the end of the year, so I'm basically just using that planner section as like a placeholder for when all of this comes together. I also have a separate section in the back for work-specific calendars, which I designed, printed, and tabbed myself. The original design for these pages was a calendar on the front and tasks and notes that I designed on the back, but I've ended up not really using these pages as much as I thought I would. My job changed this year, so I don't really have the same type of tasks that I need to keep track of throughout the year. This is another section that I don't really have anything in now because I keep all of my Ellie Planet related stuff in a completely separate planner. For this health section, I use this section to track anything related to my physical or mental health and to go into a little bit more detail than what I track on my weekly dashboard. I did design and print these pages myself because this year I really wanted something that had a calendar and a habit tracker on one page, and I just couldn't find anything else out there that had that. Each month I'll decide what information I'm wanting to track for that month. Sometimes they change, but usually I'll just have weight and exercise, eating disorder recovery and behavior tracking, moods, feelings, and mental health, sickness symptoms usually related to my cycle, how much sleep I'm getting, and any other miscellaneous notes. Lately, I've been using this backside for supplements, weight tracking, homework for my dietitian and counseling sessions, and any other miscellaneous notes that I want to add. I'll admit that even after years of building up the habit of keeping plans on paper, it can be really hard to get everything from my head onto physical paper, especially when my phone is usually already in my hand. And sometimes my planner is a little bit out of reach. So how do I keep things off my phone and in my planner? I cheat. Yep, I admit it. Sometimes I cheat on my planner with my phone. There is just times when I need to write something down, like now. But either my planner isn't with me or my brain is in chaotic brain dump mode, and I know that in the amount of time that it takes to write something down, I'll have forgotten the very details that I wanted to write down. So what I do when I only have my phone available and not my planner is I have a list on my phone that's literally called Add to Planner. It's not cute, it's not organized, but it's really handy. Sometimes what I need to write down is just a quick reminder, or sometimes I'm away from my planner all day and I have a lot that I want to eventually write in my planner. So I'll just start a whole new list item starting with the date and then just list off whatever happens that day. Then the next time I pick up my planner and I have a few extra minutes, I'll check my Add to Planner list on my phone, figure out what, where, and how I need to put everything in my planner, and then delete the list item once that information is transferred. So even though I do cheat a little bit and I don't always keep everything in my fully paper planning system, everything does eventually make it into my plan. Hey, ow, ow! Ow, ow. But if you want to see what my planner looked like before I customized it to fit my needs, check out this video right here.